We know there are many choices in internet radio, and the staff and host of LA Talk Live would like to thank you for choosing the internet's hottest destination for the most eclectic sound and invigorating talk. This is LA Talk Live. We are more than just talk.
What you know about the Gospel Rhythms magazine? For God's in it, you don't gotta chase dreams. You need to check us out and see what we mean.
Catch the vision.
Okay.
It's party.
Oh, we live now. I was waiting for the finger, baby. We about to take off. Hey, welcome. The beast is blasting. Hold on, let me just
We got singers, rappers, spoken word, and actors, and business owners, playwriters, and pastors.
What's up? Welcome to GospelRhythms.com Talk Live Radio and LATalkLive.com Live Edition. I'm Ro Williams.
Hey, I'm Trisha Mann Grant, and happy Sunday.
Happy Sunday
all
to
the
you.
Viewers all over the country, everybody in Los Angeles, California, everybody all over the world, and all the other countries that are watching. We want to always give you guys some love. Thank you for joining us today. Oh, we have a special guest in the house, but we're not going to talk about her right this second.
No,
right?
but
what are you doing?
But I just want to say, everybody, turn your ringers off. Imani.
Hold on. We're so
I know, right? I gave her the phone.
It's just really,
I was like, that ring sounds familiar. Our
Okay.
lovely
You wanna
associate
get
in
that
studio.
nasty looking tissue off the thing.
Wait,
That's
they
just
didn't even
not
see
cute.
that.
They
First,
can't-
you couldn't even see that tissue, could you? This
Can
is
they
for.
see? Yeah, I
this,
thought
oh,
so. They can
I'm
see the
sorry.
tissue. Oh, that's what that's for.
Wait,
Okay.
wait here. I'll
Is that your phone? Yo, we so sorry to start the show.
Look,
off.
it's Nigeria.
Like-
we have Nigeria fans
That's a
calling me.
Nigeria
That's Nigeria.
person.
Nigeria.
Well,
We
you gotta
love
say
you.
hi. Put 'em on speaker.
No,
Wow.
because I'll be paying for that call.
You just gonna diss Nigeria?
Nigeria has to
How
wait.
did they get your personal cell phone, by the way?
No, I have Gospel Rhythms is linked to it, so
I
it'll
knew
call
that.
there. The
All right.
877.
Because
Yeah.
we got gospel.
We love you,
Rhythms.
Nigeria, but could you send me an email right now? We are on the air.
Nigeria.
Or text message.
Hi, everyone in Nigeria. Thank you for watching. Mwah. We love you guys. All right, girl, what's up? You look beautiful.
Well, thank you. You know, I'm trying to keep up with your stilo. I did. You know, you got the crinkly thing going on, so you know I had to do it plaits and what do you call it? Setting lotion style.
Hey, set lotion all
You
that
know,
works.
I went to the hairdresser, and Eric, my cousin, was like, I thought you said you were going to the hairdresser.
Oh, okay. We
was
need
like-
him not to ever comment on your hair again.
I
We
am
love
not
you,
tripping
Eric.
about him. But
I
did
saw
we
him
all
at
have an
church
amazing
today.
day at the church today?
At church. Do you remember the pastor's name? Was it Pastor Corey?
It was Pastor Denver
He's
Broncos.
from the
'Cause
Denver
he was from the
Broncos,
Denver
right?
Broncos.
From the Denver Broncos. But he's on the
Medical.
the medical side. But he looked like a football player.
Didn't he though?
But he was our guest speaker today, and I mean the brother was smooth with it, but he came with some serious hard-hitting word from John 21. If you guys get a minute, go to John 21, check it out. Because it just put a new spin on things for me. You know how you read
Get
something
ready. No,
sometimes.
on your mark.
Get set, and
go.
go.
That was
and
the theme.
that was the theme of it. And I took notes. Did you take notes?
Yes,
Look at all
I
my
did.
notes. I
You
can't
know,
really
I
read
read-
them because I write like a
I got one word.
doctor
Journal.
on drugs. I can't really read this.
Journal.
Okay, but yeah, journal. You have your. I have a journal too. I just didn't.
And
bring
you're a
it
writer,
with
so I'm
me.
just like, you know.
But this was some really good stuff.
I'm
And
just
it was
saying.
about getting on your mark, which means what's your calling, what's your purpose. Some people don't know. They really just don't know. Some of us out there just are a little clueless to that. And that's where prayer, comes in. Lord, help me understand what my calling, my purpose is. So that's getting on your mark. Getting set is getting geared up, getting yourself ready and prepared to take off and go and do what God called you to do.
And you know what? Sometimes that going is a faith move, because in this particular story we have Peter on the boat, and when he gets word that was the Lord that was there, and he
jumped in the
well,
water.
before he jumped in the water, he girded himself up with his garment.
Right. And that was another thing I said, geared. I think I meant to say girded.
Oh, not
but
you
yes,
mispronouncing the word.
Oh, right, miseducation. Oh, I feel so smart in my glasses. Thank you,
Trisha.
All right. Yes, I said geared it.
That's so good.
So it's okay.
They
like
got
I
it.
can have a role
Everybody
moment.
south of Crenshaw got
Yeah.
it. If anybody north of Crenshaw, they'll get it.
Why you got to throw Crenshaw under the bus like that?
Did I throw them under the bus?
Anyway, we love you, Crenshaw.
Did I mention we have a humorist on the show today? I'm just trying to be in that lane. I guess I better get out and stay in my mark.
Yes.
I'm gonna stay on my mark.
Stay in your lane and do the rapping. You do the rapping.
Oh,
T-Faye
yeah,
will
that's
do the
right.
comedy.
Yeah, that's right.
T-Faye is
I'll
a
hold it
comedian.
down for them
And
MCs.
listen, if you all haven't heard of her, you need to Google her now.
MC Rowe.
T-Faye. And
Oh, her.
Rowe. Google MC Rowe. Please Google her. You won't find anything. Trust me. It's okay. It's all right, though. So anyway, yeah, church was good at the Covenant, 4830 South Genesta. Pastor Sanchez. He's so funny because I love Pastor Sanchez's energy. He just has an aura about him. But we appreciate you and love you, Pastor Sanchez.
We do.
You are such a wonderful man of God, and you always just pour into us and give us something that we can bring back and reiterate to all the people out there watching, right?
But can I just say this before we go into just giving love to the people that were here last week and set up who we have on the show today? One thing I love about Pastor Sanchez is that he used to work in he and his wife were in the corporate world making lots of money. They had all the benefits of that life, box seats at this sports game and the Dodgers and all that, and but he realized that wasn't his mark. It might have been his mark, his station for that season, right. But he had to step out there, and he's just such a keep it real doctor, because he was like, when you realize what your mark is in your call, and I'm sure we'll hear how T-Faye, as her dreamer's journey is unfolding, he was like, you get to be like, whoa, and then he was like, a couple of days, once you're out of it and you're operating it, you're like, whoa, and then he was like, but then when the checks start not really coming in like they did when you worked in the corporate world, you're like, whoa.
A couple of months later.
And then you're like, whoa.
When the bills are due.
A couple a little further down the line, you're like wow.
Yeah. So.
But you just gotta, extract the joy, because we had a couple of guests in house, actually members of that church, and he was saying what a fulfillment it is to look back and see the blessing that his ministry has been. In this particular case, there's a lady that had stage 4 cancer, and her husband needed a heart transplant. So those are the kind of jewels that you reflect back on your life. And I got a Facebook posting from a little girl that I took in as a sister and mentored and loved on, and she just gave me love and did this pictorial collage. And God will send you those warm fuzzies when you feel like at your lowest. It's like, does my life really matter? I could have been so much more than what I am. And then
I did that, remember?
Yeah, and then the pastor said it's not your season. Sometimes you aren't where you're supposed to be because it's just not your season. You'll be there when God gets you there, when you're supposed to be there.
That's right.
And he said something about opportunity. Do you remember what he said? It was really like the opportunity.
No, it's just sometimes the opportunity hasn't arrived yet, even though you want to be prepared, because preparation does meet opportunity. Those are my words, and I've heard it before and love it because it's the truth. Preparation meets opportunity, so we have to be prepared for whatever it is that our heart's goals and desires and what's in us to do. So I wrote down mostly notes about John and Peter and how Peter jumped in the water after he heard Jesus. And something I realized, when Peter denied Jesus before Jesus died on the cross, and he denied him 3 times, what I really realized was Peter was probably jumping in that water because there's a possibility he felt guilty about that.
He had something he wanted to prove.
Even after Jesus died. And him jumping in that water was an act of faith and love, showing Jesus, look, I know I messed up and said that back then, but I'm coming to you.
I got to get to. Sometimes God will do that. He'll
now.
Break you to remake you
Right.
to the point where you're like, I just got to get to Jesus.
Right.
I got to and then he probably took the opportunity to recognize he had a do-over.
Right.
If you see that God is presenting you with an opportunity to have a do-over, you better jump in that water and take advantage of it, because the opportunity to take advantage of the opportunity may not always be there. There's a window of time. And I think that was something that was spoken this morning.
Well, and then just real quick, and then Jesus said to him, do you love me? He said, yes, Lord. He said, do you love me, Peter? Yes, Lord, I love you. Do you? Yes, Lord, I love you. But 3 times he said, do you love me? Which countered the 3 times that Peter denied God. And I thought that was some deep stuff. I hadn't even thought about that. I'm like, that's good stuff.
God's such a harmonious God of balance. So it's all on the scales, and now the scales are balanced.
Oh my God, the Bible is like so cool.
Like really.
You just really should read it, really. It's really cool.
Well,
okay.
We had an awesome show last week. Our I guess it was an entertainment edition, but it was also life, because it was twofold. We had a theatrical production and the actors that were a part of it in-house, but this subject matter was it could be perceived as heavy, especially if you have had it touch your life, and it was the topic of molestation. And we were really blessed to have some talented actors and the writer of the project, the producer, as well as the lead, who actually was sick, but she called in, who has
All right, now your phone is. I need you to turn your phone off, girl. We are trying to do a show. She is doing a show right now. Thank you.
No, Nigeria. I will talk to you later.
Have a good day. Can we just do this?
Asante sana.
Kim called. Okay, Kim called in.
Anyway, Kimberly Monks.
she was so profound in everything that she said, and the fact that she was so candid about her experience when she was younger and how that's helping her do this role. I guess I'm around 14. I don't know. I can't remember the age exactly.
Check the show out. You can go to gospelrhythms.com and see that. But I love the fact that she was not only transparent, but she was like, the act doesn't define you and who you are. I mean, she said a lot of profound things within a short time that she was on that would bless anyone that you may know that has had that touch their life. Or if you just want to get some insight into, how God really anoints and turns somebody's life around to the point where they actually can get outside of that bad and evil thing that happened to them, and live it out in a production or even if it's not a theatrical production, how you can still can still go on, and you can turn that mess into a message. Allow God to turn that mess into His message for your life. So big ups to Kimberly Monk, Rory Darval, Tysona Senchinga. Did I say that right?
Oh my God! You
Cedric Lilly, Ray Sean.
Don't leave me hanging.
Okay.
Never.
Did I? What you? Oh,
I was trying to do the little color purple thing.
That was on today too. But I'm sorry.
It was color purple was on.
But Kenyana, thank you so much. And she's just so sweet. She was like nervous. She was like, I'm nervous. Well, we have somebody in the house that ain't gonna be nervous. What? I'm sorry, I left you hanging. I was trying to read.
Asking questions,
and this flower ain't that clear.
I don't know what to do. I can't take it.
Oh, what you say?
I don't remember. Never mind. It's something about color purple. You said it was on. It was on.
It's on. Yeah, it was on. When I was. Yeah, I was at the God's trying to tell you something
movie.
part.
Oh yeah, I love that.
But we're gonna go to commercial. But before we do, we're gonna send you out with some images of Kids in the Spotlight Inc. Please remember to support them. Go to the website kitsinc.org and support the kids. They need you. We are in the throes of also trying to raise support for the film festival and the different things that the kids are doing leading up to the film festival. So if you have any questions, you got those images. So that's them in session. So they are real kids. These are disenfranchised youths that are in the foster care system, living in group homes, that are afforded an opportunity through this program to you get to turn up the mouth. Got the beats playing a little bit. You know what I'm saying? That's right. They got the opportunity to
in the house.
to have the opportunity
Lord.
to I don't want to overwhelm y'all. Yeah, to learn everything that goes in about filmmaking. And if you want to support monetarily or with your talents and your time, or just curious of how you can give back, we should all find something to give back to leave this earth a better place than how we found it.
What's the email? Give them the email so that they can contact Taiji.
They go to the website, and all of that has contact. Every website has a contact.
What's the website?
kitsinc.org, kidsinthespotlightinc.org. Amazing things are coming out of that organization, and we love you, TG.
Yeah, girl.
In the meantime, Van, take us to commercial.
That's right. We need to go to commercial. We'll see y'all in
I'm Ro Williams.
a few seconds. I'm Trisha Mann.
This is GospelRhythms.com, Talk Live Radio. Go get a friend.
Or two.
Or three.
So stick around for heaven party here on earth. Praise God always, and we keeping them first.
Gospel rhythms, catch the vision. Heaven's party here on earth. Make it play. Gospel rhythms, catch the vision. Heaven's party.
And my car ain't brand new, but there is joy in my house.
Hello, I'm Joel Ramirez
And I'm Lolita Robinson Coppage, and welcome to Joy in My House
on LATalkLive.com. Inspirational radio,
with a touch of recovery.
a reality show where nothing is left unsaid,
And no one is insignificant who says it.
exclusively on LATalkLive.com. You can also catch us on iTunes Radio R&B or watch us on Ustream TV.
Reality radio handcrafted for your listening pleasure. This is LA Talk Live, and we are more than just talk.
Hi, I'm Ro Williams, and I would like to invite you to join GospelRhythms.com every Sunday at 4 p.m. Pacific Standard Time, 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time for our show, GospelRhythms.com Talk Live Radio. Join us as we celebrate Christians around the world in all genres of entertainment, as well as highlight interest stories on men and women who are making a difference and impacting their community. So don't forget to tune in to GospelRhythms.com, Talk Live Radio, exclusively on LATalkLive.com. You can also catch us on iTunes under R&B or watch us live on Ustream TV. We are reality radio, handcrafted for your listening pleasure. This is GospelRhythms.com, Talk Live Radio on LATalkLive.com. We're more than just talk. We're heaven's party here on earth.
What's up, world? This is Nicolas Cage, inviting you to join us every Sunday, 7 p.m. Pacific time for New Rules Radio. Join us as we lend our social satire to the week's leading topics, including music, fashion, and politics. So don't forget to tune in to New Rules Radio, 7 p.m. Pacific time, exclusively on LATalkLive.com. You can also catch us on iTunes Radio, R&B, Radio Flag, TuneIn Radio, Live 365, AHA Radio, TiVo Radio, and Apple TV Radio. Or just watch and listen directly at LATalkLive.com. Reality radio handcrafted for your listening and viewing pleasure. This is LA Talk Live, and we are more than just talk.
Spoken word and actors and business owners, playwrights, and pastors. There's many gifts to encourage the body. Consider this an invitation. Come and kick it and party. We're evolving the way we deliver the gospel. Same message, different method, redefined apostles. And through Christ, we're empowered to shine.
The mics are hot. The mics are hot. Welcome back to GospelRhythms.com. Talk Live Radio on LATalkLive.com. I'm Ro Williams.
I'm Trisha Mann Grant. Hey.
And this is our live edition.
Aww.
And man, we have an awesome woman of God in the house today. She's an award-winning humorist. Aww. Man, I mean, what can we say? What can we not say about this woman? She puts words into the mouths of the Academy Award winners, comedians, politicians, and everyday folk alike. Man, from the A&E to the BET to the PBS, she has amassed an impressive list of writing credits that include the landmark comedy series In Living Color and the Los Angeles Times. A respected black teacher and conference speaker, T. Faye has also appeared on Fox Network, The 700 Club, The Word Network, and Black Entertainment Television. You can check her out to get the scope of what she is and what she's doing at morningmannathebook.com, and you'll learn more about that. But right now, we come back. Former Get Lifted host for GospelRhythms.com, T. Faye.
No. I feel like the Johnny Carson tune. Y'all should play that. Y'all like that. Hey, ladies.
What's up?
It's so good to be back in the studio.
Yes. Welcome.
Thank you for having me. Thank you so much.
Thank you for being here.
You don't look a day over yesterday, girl.
Thank you, girl. I'm trying. You know, trying to keep it together. Got the new look. Am I shining?
Yeah. No, you're not,
No,
baby.
you're
You're
not
good.
shining.
I got you.
I would have tissue I would offer you, but somebody made me throw it away because it was on the
Praise
table.
Jesus.
I'm just saying.
You threw it away. All right, I got you. I'll give you a clean piece of tissue
Thank
if
you
need
very
it.
much.
That's neat and
Thank you
not
very much.
crumpled
Without
and disgusting.
somebody
Some
else's
residue.
DNA.
It had a clean
Right.
section on it. This section behind it. I'm just saying. Anyway,
never
welcome
mind.
back, girl.
Thank you, Mama Sita.
You've been up to a
Good to be
lot.
here. Man, God has been up to a lot. God is up to a lot of stuff. It's good. The book is coming out. Kids in the Spotlight. You were talking about Kids in the Spotlight. I have to put my 2 cents in about Kids in the Spotlight. You know, that's an organization that's near and dear to my heart. And been serving now for 5 years as the executive producer of the Movies by Kids for Kids Film Festival. Save the date, November 1st. 2014.
So wait, they've already shot their movies and they're going to show it on November 1st?
Well, we've been shooting all year. We go from group home to group home, and we take the program into different group homes. And so it's a year-round program. Mm-hmm. And then it all culminates in, used to be October, now we're moving it to November, with the film festival. So we will continue shooting as long as the funds hold out up until the time of the festival.
So what is going on with the funds right now? Are you guys having people donate Are people supporting from other organizations?
It's an ongoing effort to raise money. I have to say the Gospel Rhythms has always, from day -1, has always been a financial supporter.
I'm sorry, could you say that again?
From day I mean,
did you say Gospel Rhythm?
It's truly the
Gospel
Lord.
Rhythm.
Trust me when I tell
really
you.
and truly. I mean,
Because
you
the Lord is the one to take a half a fish and a loaf, and He'll break it down. And I just want to encourage everybody out there that is walking in your gift. Still don't let that inhibit you from still giving back. You got some aspect of you that can be purposeful beyond the purpose of what you're doing.
Absolutely.
You know what I mean?
Speaking of
Absolutely.
which, the aspect of me would love to help direct or help them or write.
Absolutely.
Or write
Absolutely.
for the kids for
We
the
can
next
certainly
skit.
use human resources. So in addition, money obviously, is always an issue, and that's something that we're always looking to find. In answer to your question, we receive no government funding. Everything has come out of the pockets of individuals. There have been a couple of companies that, like Aveda and different companies, that have come along and sponsored things for us. But it really is the goodness of the people's heart. If you have a heart for children, Kids in the Spotlight definitely is an organization, and a little goes a long way. I mean, it's amazing what Taiji Charity has been able to do with $2 and a stick of gum and a stick. I mean, she's building an empire for our kids. But in addition to the money, if you direct, if you teach acting, if you know how to make a peanut butter sandwich and can set up a craft service table, anything that you can do to help us, we need it. Desperately
definitely.
need it.
Okay.
Yeah.
And how would they get to you or get the money to you? If someone out there watching right now wants to
KITSINC.org, kidsinc.org, kidsinthespotlight.org. Just their contact page on there. Just click contact, send us your information, and we will get back to you so fast that it may scare you.
and I just have to just add real quick, because I know this shows about what you're doing, and you are a
but
part of
kids
that.
first, yeah.
I gotta say that even if kids are not your heart, there are tomorrow. So you might want to, like I said, think about leaving this place. Yeah. So if you have a crap load of money that you don't know what to do with, or maybe rather, somebody just feel like writing a check, and just because, I don't think another sister needs a 20,000 Hermes. If you can afford those bags, you probably got one bag more than you really need. So I'm just saying, just think about that. Like, you're really sowing a seed that's going to be of such value that these kids are going to leave this world a better place for having been blessed by the way your money will help benefit them to see beyond the borders of their circumstances. We're talking about kids that have been abused, parents that are drug users, they've been molested. We want to grow them up not to fill the jailhouse, but to work in the White House or some other house that is going to equip them.
To your point, let me just quickly say what Kids in the Spotlight does. Kids in the Spotlight trains these kids, ages, I think it's 11 to 17 now. We train the kids to write, to star, to cast their own short films. So they get to tell their stories their way. And I mean, this is no little hearts and flowers stories these kids are telling. They are telling the true drama. Yes, there's some comedy and there's some adventure. We have all kinds of genres represented at the festival. But some of the stories that are most impacting are those heartfelt stories that are drawn on from their real lives of as you say, live households of abuse and drug use and so forth. So it really is giving them an opportunity and an outlet to open up their heart. And, it starts with talking about it and sharing it. That's where the healing starts to begin, is when they can get it out and they don't have to hold it in. We give them that opportunity to talk about it.
That's right. Very therapeutic. They need that because
Absolutely.
some of them don't have the opportunity to go to counselors or therapy sessions. And so sometimes through the arts, even the actors on stage, being able to express yourself from things that you can relate to is very helpful.
Very helpful.
And the cool thing is, too, they get exposed to all the elements. So they see what goes on through wardrobe and hair and makeup. And so in lighting and production. So at the end of this journey that they're on, they may say, you know what? I have an interest in being a stylist. I have an interest in being a makeup artist or as I like to say, they get to dream with their eyes open because they've been exposed to various aspects of another life that had they not had the benefit of a program like Kids in the Spotlight, they would never even consider.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Great point. And to your point earlier, these kids are our future. These are the kids that are going to be running the nursing homes that we're in.
Yeah,
I'm just saying.
I'm just saying.
Right.
So we really want to take care of them now.
Seriously,
Please.
You know what I'm saying?
They're running the White House.
They're going to be running around and flying the
government.
planes and doing all of the things. So we want to make sure we take care of them.
So
now.
yeah, make it rain.
Make it rain.
Make it rain.
You know,
Please.
get a tall instead of a grande, and the
Know what I'm
difference,
saying?
send it to kids in spotlight.
Send the
That's what I do.
Go to
Okay.
KITS instead of magic.com.
Did
I'm just saying.
That's right.
She went there.
I'm just saying.
She went all the way there.
I'm just saying.
So I have a question.
They don't need another pair of silicones.
Yes.
I'm just saying. They don't.
Okay.
Praise the Lord.
I have a
They got cheap too, but these kids. That's why there was no kids in the spotlight for them. That's why they did. I'm just saying.
I'm so
Okay.
glad you have a
All
microphone.
right, I'm gonna just take a time out
All
right
right.
now. I'm on the
I'm
time
so
out.
glad.
She gave me that look.
All right. Okay. So, when the kids graduate from the program, and what has been some of the success stories that you've heard to encourage the people so they know that this is truly helpful and making a difference?
Two stories come to mind. One is about a young lady named Alexis. And Alex, when she came to the program, first of all, she came in prepared. She had a story that she wanted to do. We actually ended up writing a script for her and doing her film, which was great. But she came in with this mindset that she was just going to graduate from high school. She was a senior. And she heard that Toys R Us was hiring, and that's as far as that she could see in her life.
Wow.
She was going to get a job at Toys R Us and just do whatever life would afford her to do while you work at Toys R Us. She didn't even consider going on to higher education. So fast forward to today, she is in the theater arts program at Southwest College and getting her degree because of her experience with Kids in the Spotlight. And then, of course, our most famous success story is Davion. Davion came to us. He was in our very first pilot program, and he was about to be emancipated, meaning he was aging out of the foster care program. The first session, he was there with a bunch of his homies, you know, and the next Saturday, Davion came, but he looked around, his homies weren't there. So he was like, I'm out, I'm bouncing, you know. And so between Taiji Charity, the executive director, Sharon Hogg, the co-director, and myself, we jacked him up pretty much. We got him in a corner, and we're like, so you're going to let your homies dictate your life? We're going to let somebody else run this for you? Long story short, Davion not only stayed with the program, he wrote a script by himself. It's one of the most impacting stories that we've done to date. He went on. We were able to help him. Sharon Hogg led the charge of getting him an internship. He got into this program where he was learning to write promos and advertising, and he's gone on now. He's finishing up his first documentary, and that's the power of kids. That's the power of Kids in Spotlight.
Yes, I had the
amazing.
opportunity to interview him 2 rows.
Oh, awesome!
2 years in a row on the red carpet at
Yes,
the Kids in the
yes,
Spotlight.
yes,
And
yes.
he's tall.
He came to our event.
chocolate,
Remember
butter-
at our party
Yeah, he
event
was there.
last year?
Yeah.
That was him.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, and
Yes,
he's
he
just
was at
he's an
the-
incredibly gifted young man. I mean, and just as a writer myself, that's why I wanted, because I saw in him the potential.
Yeah.
He's an amazing writer.
Right.
An artist and visionary in his own right. I mean, he has such he's a photographer now as well, and a videographer, and his eye is just he's the
good.
next. He's the next.
So tell him if he wants to practice on some pictures.
You hear that, Davion?
Just call me Davion if you're out there.
Miss Mann said
That's
you
right.
can come. What's
That's
so
right.
cool is the kids always call us by we're Miss Mann, Miss Taiji, Miss T. Faye Griffin. They say my whole name, Miss T. Faye
Right.
Griffin.
Oh, Mrs. Mann Grant.
Miss Mann Grant,
There you
yes,
go.
have to
Well,
be.
while we're on the subject of writers, we have
Writers.
one in the house, and let's talk about. I mean, you've been on the show before, and you shared your life. And I'm sure your About page gives some insight to who you are and your journey.
Yes.
But as an adult, let's talk about where God has you and this transition of you finding what your mark is.
Got it.
Because you've had some successes, and I don't know if you identify with the struggles that those kids have, but as an adult, whether we had 2 parents or 1 parent or no parents, we always run into some adversity as an adult. So could you share with us, post the In Living Color days and post the Celebration of Gospel? Because if you didn't know, she was the writer for like 100 years on the Celebration of Gospel, and then that transitionary.
I know.
I mean, it was around forever. It's no more though, right?
Well, it went away. Well, okay. Steve left the show after 13 years. He had been the only host.
And you wrote for it for how many?
I wrote 12 of the 13. I wasn't there 1 year because I was doing another show and I had a scheduling conflict. So I wrote 12 of the 13. I think he was there for 14 years. I forget. 14 years I think he did it. But he left the show. They brought in Taraji P. Henson to be the new host, and they filmed it, and then the next thing we heard, the show was canceled and they weren't moving forward. There was such an outcry from the public that they've brought it back. I'm no longer involved with the production, but I understand it is coming back. I don't know if Taraji's coming back, if Steve's coming. I really don't know. But
you mean Steve Harvey?
Steve
Oh,
Harvey.
okay,
Yeah. Hey, Chief.
They on first name basis, so
I know,
you
I'm like,
need to
I'm
throw the
sorry.
last
I'm sorry,
name
Steve.
in. Who's
Sorry.
Steve?
Harvey. All right.
Steve Harvey.
I know that's your
Harvey?
boy. You know that's your homie.
Well, he's, something, Steve has been my employer on and off for 14 years. And I always say this, I don't socialize. Well, he's not my friend. He's been my boss. Because people are like, yeah, girl, can you call Steve? Ask him, tell him I got this show. He he might want to back it. I'm like, I know him, but I don't know him to that extent that I would feel comfortable doing that. Except for my book. Because I have reached out and said, yo, Steve.
Steve, we need to talk.
We need to talk because I need some help. With
Isn't that funny how we find courage to reach out when it's our thing? I'm just saying.
No, you know me. You know me, Ro.
I don't care. I'm gonna call you.
You know I do. I call, like, for Kids in the Spotlight. I called my girl Sherry Shepard and say, we need you, and she came. She hosted our very first film festival for me. Yeah.
So this journey, madam.
So the journey. I don't even know where to start. Basically, the Cliff Note version of it is I've been a writer and a producer in this industry for a long time, but it hasn't always been a smooth journey. After 2 seasons of writing on Living Color, I found myself back on welfare. Stuff happens, and had made 6 figures first time in my life and lost every dime of it.
How, if you don't mind sharing?
How did I lose it? When you don't have an education, which is why your financial edition is so wonderful, if you've not been educated about money, and then you suddenly find that you have money, you probably won't have that money very long. There's some kind of statistic that says people who win the lottery within a certain amount of time, they are usually broke because no one has taught them how to manage that money. So I went on from a Living Color and I would walk in. I remember walking into Blockbuster Video with my boys who were very small at the time, and we just went on a shopping spree, and we bought like $400 worth of VHS tapes, just because I could. You know what I mean? And so it was that type of reckless spending and no saving, and so I found myself broken and being a single mom. I'm back on welfare. I remember my writing partner, Alsonia Rice, one day driving in her brand new car because she continued on working, and I was in the parking lot at Nick's check cashing, and she went. I was like, and I was like, I don't know what to say. Got to get these food stamps. You know what I'm saying?
That's a huge lesson, though.
Absolutely. It was very humbling. I've had a lot of humbling experience, but the long and the short of it, even being tapped to be one of the debut hosts for Gospel Rhythms Talk Live Radio, and not fulfilling that commitment is because I was afraid. Fear. Every detriment to any success that I've had has been because of fear, paralyzing fear that I couldn't do it, fear that I wasn't good enough. Ro gave me such a great opportunity with Get Lifted, and I threw it back in her face because I was too afraid that I would be perceived as not good at it, or it wasn't good enough, or whatever. So the journey with the book, I've been a writer since I was 8 years old, but I've never been able to complete my own projects. You need me to write you a screenplay, you need me to write you a television show, I can do all of that. Tife, why don't you write a book? And so one day God showed, and the other thing was stand up. I stopped doing stand up for 15 years. Wow. I was on the fast track to being called the first lady of gospel comedy. And I dumped out because I got scared, and I sat down for 15 years. Last year, in February of last year, God showed me, and I saw it as plain as I see you. He showed me arriving in heaven with a gift box. And I lifted up the gift box to him, and he said, "Why did you bring that up here? First of all, you didn't open it. And second of all, it wasn't even for you. Ooh. You should have left that." And I knew in that moment he was talking about the stand-up and the writing. That it did something to me. I immediately got myself back out doing stand-up. I entered into a stand-up at the Ice House in Pasadena. I did a competition. And it wasn't even about the competition. I was just going to get back on stage by any means necessary. It just so happened that a friend was producing that competition. Not only did I enter the competition, I won the competition. There were 20 comics. I won. And it wasn't fixed. I won it fair and square. As a result, to God be the glory. Real quick story about that. When I was doing stand-up comedy, there's a gentleman who has an organization has a business called Clean Comedians, cleancomedians.com. And when I was doing comedy, I would always pitch him. He's a booker. He's a booking agent. I wanted him to handle me, and I would send him, for 6 years straight, I would send him my package and ask him, he would never sign me. And I was just crestfallen, each time. He was one of the judges at the competition.
Wow.
Same guy.
Look at how God just worked that out.
When he gave me my score, the highest score was 5. He said, "Not only am I going to give you a 5, I'm going to book you." Wow. He is now my booking agent. Adam Christing, to the grave and beyond, baby. I love you.
Hey, Adam.
But look at God, though.
Look at God.
But that's like
God did that because I got out of my way. You see, fear. Here's what I've come to realize, and I'll be 55 in September. Yes, I know.
That's amazing.
Oh, Jesus.
Did she just say what I think she just said?
I don't know. I thought I heard 25.
She didn't say 55.
I will be 55, and it's taken me this long, ladies, to realize what a thief fear is.
Yes,
it really
fear
is.
is a bandit. Fear will rob you of your gift. Yeah. It'll rob you of the very thing that's good for you. I had been jacked of so much just because of fear, and not only just for me, but the people whose lives that are being touched or could have been touched if I had been in position were not touched. Somebody missed something in life. Somebody's not that I'm all that. I'm not popping my collar. Understand what I'm saying? Because I wasn't in my place, someone's quality of life was affected because I wasn't there to make them laugh, to make them smile, to encourage them, whatever it was, to challenge them.
That's like what Pastor was saying, how he had to step out of that place, and now he can look back and see the stories of the journey of the people whose lives he's touched. Yeah. But I will also say complacency too, and being in a comfort place, because sometimes people aren't afraid; they're just comfortable. Yes. Just like when Jesus, like in the Word today, when Jesus had died and they had a couple sightings of him, he had risen from the grave. Peter was like, "I'm gonna go fishing." Well, he was a fisherman by trade, and so at that point, it was like, well, we were his disciples, his homies. We had a purpose and a mission with him dead and him coming alive. It's like, what? I'm confused. I'm afraid. I just don't know what to do. So I'm going to go back to what I know to do best. I'm comfortable just fishing. And so, you know what I'm saying? And that's why later he was like, feed my sheep. He's like, there's another job I have for you, another purposeful job. But I think, again, I can't say it enough. When we are in the presence of God and we just lay all those issues on him, that's why I think God dumbs it down for us. Jesus said, cast all your cares. Your fears, your issues, your insecurities, your education, the lack of education, throw that on me and watch your options change. And so, I mean, I just, man.
And the other big, I'm sorry.
No. We were in the restroom talking about the calling and the purpose of your comedy.
Yes.
And how some people may look at it and go, oh, that's just comedy. How can comedy have ministry? Are you kidding me?
Absolutely.
Whether you were doing it on a gospel stage or in a secular world, just because God put that purpose and that calling inside of you, you can be on that secular stage and still touch anyone in that audience.
Let me tell you something about Morning Manna. Morning Manna started as a single Facebook post. One day I just updated my status, and people started reaching out to me and telling me, they were inboxing me and posting on my page how, oh, that Tife, I needed to hear that today. Oh, that blessed me so. Oh gosh, I needed that. And so I wrote another one, and I prayed, and God just gave me more and more and more. And so for 7 months, I'm waking up before, and Lord knows I don't know what he picked me, the least morning person, to give a ministry called Morning Manna. I had to get up before day to write these things. But the people that read Morning Manna, to your point, Trish, I have people from all walks, from all types of religions and belief systems that read it and read it. Get mad with me if I don't post. Where's my manna? I have people who have chosen different lifestyles that read it, that support it, that have given money to my crowdfunding campaign to make sure that the book gets out. That's the power of being in your place.
Okay, and not only were you in your place, see, it's not just about being in the place, it's about taking that step of faith, which is the opposite of fear, and it's the fear that prevents people from taking that first step. But once you do take that step out, guess what? Now God can do what He's already purposed for you to do. He's just waiting on you to believe enough in yourself. And that's why you were doing other people's scripts, because you believe more in them than you did your own ability.
Absolutely.
You were afraid what people would say.
Or if they fail, the onus is on them.
Right.
You still in the background. It's like, well, I was just a hired help.
Well, actually, I never actually took that. I did take ownership if it was somebody else, but there is a bit of truth to that. It's like, well, I wrote it one way, Steve said it another way, so
I did my job.
I did my job.
My job. He just ain't that funny.
Rodney Perry, comedian Rodney Perry.
Yes, I know Rodney.
You know Rodney.
Yes.
We have the same birthday. We're birthday buddies.
When's your birthday? I don't know Rodney's birthday.
September 15th. We're birthday twins. And Rodney and I have known each other for many, many years, have worked on different shows together. Rodney said something to me one day that I heard him, and I've played it back in my heart over and over and over again, but I'm just now believing it. And he said to me, we were working on Steve Harvey's Big Time for the WB at the time, and he looked over at me, he said, Tife, you do know that your worst, when you do your worst, is better than most people's best.
Amen.
And on that note, we got a caller.
What a compliment. Hello caller, you are on there. This is gospelrhythms.com. How you doing, and where you calling from?
Oh, I'm calling from San Francisco.
Hey, what's your name?
Chris Rossetti.
I'm like,
with
that voice.
Harmony, what's your name?
Yeah, this is Chris Rossetti. I read Tife's Morning Manna, and I really, really enjoy it. I really hope you have a lot of success with the book.
Thank you, Chris. So good to hear your voice. Chris is one of those people that I've never met in person. He is someone that got wind of me on Facebook.
Well, come on, Chris. You can make it here in, about 3 or 4 hours?
He and his lovely wife. Now, Chris, he and his wife.
Oh, I see. Now, your mind is in the wrong place.
Okay, that's why I'm trying to clean it up. Chris and his wife.
Thank you. Her mind is in the wrong place. Listen, Chris, I'm listening to your voice thinking you can do some voiceovers for Gospel Rhythms.
Absolutely.
I'm a married woman, so I keep it right. And this one here, we praying for Ro over here, Sister Ro.
There's a lot of people that have met me that wish they hadn't. But anyway.
All right, we don't want to know.
Including your wife.
My wife thank you. We're talking about Tife just the other day, and we thoroughly enjoy also your story, your almost pickup lines, the pickup lines of the day.
Oh, yeah.
We really, really enjoy those encounters you have. And I just wanted to call and say God bless you guys, and keep up the good work.
Oh, thank you for calling in and tuning in.
Angel. Thank you so
and
much.
Chris, when you and your wife do make it to Los Angeles, you come on to Gospel Rhythms at latalklive.com, and you come on up here and do some voiceovers for us. Okay? Do a promo for Gospel Rhythms.
Can I give you a plug, Chris? And you can correct
if you'd like to, sure.
And you can correct me if I'm wrong. Chris does a Bible study, a comedic Bible study. Is that correct?
Wow.
That's correct. Every Tuesday night here at our local assembly in San Francisco, it's called Laughing with God.
How fun is that?
Wow, I love it.
Jesus
So-
and jokes. I
How
love
does,
it.
but how does that work? How does that work? Tell me real quick what the.
Well, basically, my pastor came to me and said, we need comedy in the church. And he said, I want you to do it. Now, I've been cutting up since I was a kid, raised on Bill Cosby and so forth. But I suffered for 30 years with depression, and about 10 years ago was completely delivered from it. And so ever since then, I have just found it a joy to tell other people about the fact that there's hope.
Yes.
And so this Bible study every Tuesday night is basically we come in and we just lighten it up. We get the Word of God, but we get the joy with it.
There
Yeah,
it is.
I'm
Awesome.
close
The Bible does
with
say a merry heart does a
someone-
soul
like a
That's
medicine.
right.
Amen.
Chris, I'm close with someone who is suffering from a bit of depression. What advice would you give them? I've given the advice I've had from my experiences in the past, but I think they need a little bit more help. Is there anything you can share with me?
Well, I would definitely say check it out and make sure it's not a clinical medical situation, something that has to do with the chemical balance of the body. But if it boils down to it being a spiritual attack as well as a physical attack, we have to know our God is a healer.
Yes.
And basically I tried everything from, okay, ignore it, straighten up. And you have to understand, I was an ordained minister going through depression. I was an evangelist going through depression. I was a youth leader, an assistant pastor, all going through depression. I was a comedian going through depression. And yet, it wasn't until one day God showed up. And when he showed up, in 3 seconds, it was gone. So I would just encourage people that that have depression, do not give up. Because the next 3 seconds, your life can change.
Thank you so much.
And wait, I need maybe Tifa, you can answer this because we all experienced it. I want, because you said something very profound. You were operating in a gift that had you immersed in the Word of God and the things of God. Yet you're saying Jesus hadn't showed up. For somebody who catches that and they're saying, "Well, what is it that was the block?" Like with Tifa, she said fear was the thing that clogged the artery of her progress. What do you think it is when it comes to you doing all things Jesus, but yet he hadn't shown up, as you said, to deliver you that aspect? What was going on with you at that point in your depression that was the inhibitor?
The inhibitor in my own personal life, and it's different for everyone, but mine was the fact that I kept feeding the depression. So that's another good point, is you need to cut off the depression. You need to cut off the source. You need to cut off the friends that feed it, the songs that feed it, the thoughts that feed it, and you need to completely speak the opposite to it. So just as with fear, you have to speak faith.
Yes.
With depression, you have to speak all things joy. And you can't cut yourself off from people. You have to surround yourself with good people and good thoughts. So it's a big process. But believe me, when God shows up, it is so worth it.
We might have to have you, your wife, on the show.
I'll
Talk about that. Yeah. You have to
be.
come in and be a guest. So let us know when you want to come through.
See, that's the kind of people I roll with. That's what I'm saying.
Folks need to hear about this around the
I want
world.
to listen to T-Faye. God bless y'all.
Bye,
Take
Chris.
care,
God bless
Chris.
you.
Bye-bye.
Yeah.
Now, morning manna, definitely not your mama's devotional.
Not your
So tell
mama's
us a little bit
devotional.
about this. Now, I get manna was the stuff that the Lord sent down from heaven,
Yes.
but what was your process in coming up with the title of this venture, this
Well,
anointed venture?
again, the Lord wouldn't let me sleep in the morning, so it really was a God-given thing. It got me to thinking. Exodus 16 talks about, gives the account of how the children were wandering around, and so the Lord would provide more this stuff that would come down on the ground, and when it would get dry, they could gather it up, and it was like bread. It was like bread from heaven, and it was called manna. And if you tried to hold on to it to the end of the day, it would spoil. People would try to, hold some, stock it up, but it would spoil. So each day he would give fresh manna, fresh bread from heaven. And so that's how I look at the Word of God. Each morning when I go to my devotional time to spend time in the Word and prayer, it's like getting that fresh supply of manna every day. And when you read morning manna, what you may not know is that the majority, I would say more than 3/4 of the book, are life lessons based on my own life because they came out of my own prayer time. I just didn't reach out arbitrarily and go, oh, I want to write about temptation today, or I want to write about healing today. It was really written from where I am. Now, the other thing I will say, it is not a daily devotional. Most people are familiar with Jesus Calling and some of the more popular other best-selling, and those are wonderful. But you got to write 365 of those. I wasn't really. I was like, Lord, I can't really. 7 months. I can't be a whole year.
Because I think it has a September release date.
It has a September.
You got the picture of Morning Man and throw it up there.
we got to. So no, I did not feel led. It's broken up into actually lengths. There are little because I call them bites of biblical wisdom.
Can we get an appetizer? What's up?
Okay. If you are stressed, you need to ban your stress. BAN. Be anxious for nothing. Ban your stress. That's it. It's just little nuggets.
That's
you
right.
know, it's like if you got problems with masturbation, is that a challenge for you? Hands lifted in praise.
I was just about to say that could be on a T-shirt, but I don't think that could
I'm just saying.
You can't wear that T-shirt. to
You
church,
can't wear
man.
that T-shirt.
Keep your hands from going under, raise them up. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
So, you know, it's everything.
That is hilarious.
Now, Max
You did
Lucado.
not say that.
No, Max Lucado ain't writing about masturbation. I'm just saying.
No, I mean, but that's a real topic.
But these are the real deals that the real issues that people deal with, and so and so that's what it is. It's everything. It's I talk to single women a lot, you know. It's like
I pray for my single
I'm
sisters.
just saying, you know, you so worried about getting that diamond, you ain't working on being a ruby. Come on, you know, it's that kind of stuff.
I love that.
Yeah.
No, and that's true too.
And
I wrote that first year anniversary with my husband. I said I was so focused on the wedding, which we ended up canceling, thank God. But I was so focused on that wedding, I forgot to be the fiance that's preparing to be the wife, and to give him the attention that he needed. Because I'm thinking about this and that and that, and sometimes I know that brides to be get lost, and that's something to think about. You so worried about, is my ring big enough? Is it, you know? So what if the ring is beautiful and the marriage is messed up? Then what is this worth?
Yeah.
If you're not happy and at peace at home in your marriage and your relationship, and the two of you together are not making a difference as a couple for God's kingdom, then what does this mean?
Absolutely
It means
nothing.
absolutely
It's just a rock.
Nothing.
It's just a
It's
rock.
just a rock. You
Yeah.
got a pretty rock on your hand and you're miserable.
And you want to throw
Absolutely.
some rocks.
Absolutely.
I'm gonna throw a rock at you.
I'm just saying, if I'm miserable in a marriage, I want to throw some rocks. I'm just saying,
Speaking of
I'm not
rocks-
married, but oh yeah, I forgot my
Speaking
rock.
of
I forgot
you
my
forgot
rock.
your rock. Okay, our pastor gave us rocks.
Uh-huh.
He blessed them.
Okay.
He wrote on them increase. He wrote on one love. He wrote on one revival, as in revival of your life from the things that have been dead that now need to be revived, because God has so much set up for you, blessings and favor that you may have missed for whatever reasons. And okay,
I have the
revival of
courage rock.
increase and courage, and I got both. I got courage for me and increase for
She
me
got a
and
2 for
Tony.
1 because she married you.
Right. Because he out of town, so I had to pick up both of them. So what we were going to do was take some selfies with our rocks, but we'll do that next Sunday.
But
Maybe we can get
more
you
importantly,
one.
like
What's it
courage. I was like that for me. When you talk about fear, that I connect with that, and I know your book is one of its goals is to be motivational and to help people step out of that fear element. And do you also draw inspiration from other people? I know you said you write from your own experiences, but I mean, as it attached to someone else's thing.
Absolutely. I mean, you know, as a writer, anybody who's a writer knows that anything, you get inspiration from everything and anything, you know, and I'm always, and it's not even a conscious thing, I'm just always aware of everything around me, and I'm always looking for a message in it, whether it's a song, whether it's an ant, you know, walking across the floor. I always find God gives me these anecdotes and things. I was thinking about one time I was walking into the post office, and there was I saw him before I smelled him before I saw him. And there was a guy standing out in front of the post office, and he looked like he was going to be begging for money, and I took a wide berth around him and went in, got my stuff, came out, And as I was walking past him, I realized he was blind, and I was so convicted. And I came home and I wrote a morning manna about it, about not having compassion and what does it mean to have compassion for people, and being so self-centered and in our own thing. You know, so the title is Morning Manna: Wisdom Served with Humor and Heart. While there's a lot of humor in the book, there's also a lot of the heart of God in the book, because we got a lot of growing up to do. He's coming back for a bride that's pure, and we're not anywhere close. And so one of the things that I wanted to make sure that I always do is address those things that are keeping us from walking in the purity of holiness. And it's a little hard to take for some people. I always say some of the bites are sweet and some of them are salty, some of them are just hard to swallow. But I always strive to tell the truth and be transparent. And it gets me in trouble with some people.
It's
you know, the
okay.
whole masturbation thing. Somebody said, "Are you going to put that in the book?"
Yes.
Yes, Christians masturbate.
Yes.
Let's talk about it.
That's right.
Get it out on the open. Yes, let's talk about. There's stuff
That's
in there
the
about
problem.
adultery. You know, there's a reason why the grass is greener on the other side, because there's a lot of manure over there.
But you know what? I love the fact that you know, with it being a meal that you're serving in your writing, that it's done in a way that whether you're an atheist or a Bible thumping Christian, it's like everybody from every walk of life can appreciate the humoristic truths in it. It's just like if you those Buddhist quotes and saying they have truth to them.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Confucius,
And that
yeah.
and,
The
and
cookie.
people, yeah. So and I love that God is using it in a way where, you know, it's going to draw people that wouldn't normally come. You know, because oftentimes we so wore out preaching to the choir. You know what I'm saying? It's just like it's the same amens, the same. The next thing you know, it's like so that you're stepping out and out of the box,
Right.
The
And I'm not
creative
tickling any ears either. That's the other
Right.
thing. I'm not pulling any
Exactly.
punches. You know, it's sin, it's sin, it's sin, it's sin, it's sin. And I'm not two-stepping around stuff. I call a spade a spade. And again, you know, it's not for everybody. If you're looking for the hearts and flowers of Max Lucado, who is one of those writers that I would love to write like, but I just don't. You know what I mean? The Jesus Calling chick, you know, I don't write like that. I write like T-Fay. I say it like it is.
And we love the way you write. So how can we buy your book?
Yeah, tell us about that.
Let's get to the nitty gritty.
Let's get to the nitty-gritty.
And can they pre-order
I
it
just
and
have
all
to
of that?
say, I just have to say, because I'm sure people looking at me on screen go, "Why is her head so big?" Because I have the headphones on. That's why. So
You
making my
look.
hair-
I told
She's
you
got
you
nice
were
puffy
fine.
hair.
You couldn't even see.
I
it.
know, but they
you
keep
just
slipping down.
fine.
I'm
girl.
just fine, girl.
I'm not gonna
But,
have you
okay,
looking
so
crazy.
the book comes out September 15th, which is again is my 55th birthday. I am self-publishing the book. I am in the midst of a crowdfunding campaign to finance the self-publication of that book. If you want information about how, first and foremost, to support the campaign to make sure that the book gets printed, it's written. The cover is beautiful. The layout is gorgeous, but I can't print it until
You
I
want to
get
get the
some money.
artist a shout out who designed it?
Lisa, my girl, Lisa from designsdonenow.com. Designsdonenow.com.
nice.
Designsdonenow.com.
And it's such a cute. If you are Van,
And Lisa wants to be paid. So if we don't pay nobody, let's pay.
Well, Lisa. so
and
she wouldn't work
Morning
for me
Manna.
until you paid her. Huh?
Yeah, she.
I can't get her.
She's amazing.
She's
She'll
good.
work with you.
Yeah.
She'll work with
I
you.
love the cover of the book. She did an amazing job.
She did an amazing job.
Right.
So if you want to find out more about how to get involved with I have wonderful perks and rewards. Like if you give a certain dollar amount, you can get the book. You can come to I'm doing a very special event here in the LA area with some of T-Fay and friends. Tea with Tea, and so some of my friends will be coming through. There's all kinds of little tchotchkes and things you can get. Morning www. Do we still have to say www? Do we say-
Well, yeah.
All right. So the website, the
Be on the
website
safe side.
is Morning Manna thebook.com.
Spell it out for the ones that
Okay.
are slightly challenged.
Here we go. Morningmanna.com. MorningManna thebook.com. Morningmannathebook.com. And that will show you there's a nice little video done by Tiffany Thomas, produced by Gregory Everett, directed, edited by James Brovard, and my girl Tandra Tawan TJ.
That's a mouthful.
Mercer. She got a lot of names. TJ
You better
Mercer.
Go, girl. Remember everybody's
Oh my
name. Yes, sir.
gosh.
Give 'em
No,
credit.
because what has happened, the reason I give these people a shout out is because, you know, I said this. I did a show Friday night at Arise Christian Center. And the guy was reading, Ronell was reading my intro, and she's got 2 NAACP Images Awards, and she's written for Steve Harvey, and she's done all of this. But what people don't know is I'm driving a 2005 Ford Focus that's missing a hubcap. Don't look at me and think I got it all like that, because I don't.
Honey, if
because
you were
if I was, but wait,
a Porsche,
but
it doesn't matter.
But here's my point. Here's my point. If I were Tina Fey and not T Fey, I wouldn't be asking people to support me. I would just pay and get my book done. So I don't want people to go, well, will she do all that? How come? No. Because everybody needs some help.
Everybody needs some help.
No,
and
no,
then
no.
we need to stop judging everybody. Everybody. I heard that. I didn't.
Yeah.
Okay, so you do comedy.
Yes.
You're back to the comedy.
Yes.
Do you have a favorite joke, one that you have told 1,000,000 times and it still makes the crowds? Just, I know because you're a comedian, you walk into the room and people go, "Girl, say something funny."
I know you ain't just put on something. Tell us a joke.
I know, right? But that's what they do. Tell us a joke.
You ain't about to do that,
funny.
are you?
No. I am asking the woman a question.
Just crack
You
it
gonna
up.
let me ask this question?
We supposed to be closing the show out.
I'm gonna ask
It's
this
5:01.
question. And okay. Now, is there like a favorite joke that you use it every time you get up, every single place you go to, because you know that one joke is gonna just bust the crowd up?
Yes.
And don't you say a word.
I'm not doing anything.
I'm talking to T-Fay.
Yes.
Okay, yes. All right, which one is it?
I know, tell you. That's it right there.
Which one is it? Tell the joke right now.
You got to pay. You have to pay to go to the show.
You gotta
know
pay,
what?
because if I put
You're
it
supposed to be helping me here. You
exactly.
You what?
Thank you, Ro.
I
Ro understand.
Don't talk. You can't see her.
Ro understand. But no, I'm not gonna do it, because then if I do it, then it's out in the stratosphere and the people don't have to pay to come see it. But here's the thing. I always say, people who do that, who come up and say, "Tell a joke,
Right.
be funny."
Right.
Do you walk up to a surgeon and Rite Aid go,
Sew me up.
"Show me you can act. Show me you can operation."
Right.
You don't walk up to a pilot and go, "Fly plane. Can you fly a plane right now?" So
Right. No, but I know people
yeah.
do that.
And
but
when
I
they
just
ask me, "Do you have a joke?" I go, "Yes, I have
I
several."
have them.
I
And
have
you're not
several.
going to hear them right now.
You're not going to hear them. Right
Well, I got $5.
Morning Manna.
But you can hear me.
You better
But
get
can
at the
find
Morning
them.
Where's
Manna,
my purse?
because
I'll give
Morning
her some
Manna
money
has a
so she-
crowdfunding opportunity that you can sow that $5
Give me a
into.
joke. $6, $6.99.
No, but it might get you the book Morning Manna. At least the E version. Because books are not. How much is it going to retail for?
The book is going to retail at $14.95.
Yeah, the E version. The E version.
That's
talking to
the
me. I'm not
soft
talking to
cover.
you right now.
It will be released in soft cover, and it will be at help me.
See, if you had told the joke, you wouldn't be sitting there stuttering right
That's
now.
wrong. You
All
wrong.
right?
You wrong. There's going to be an
2 seconds.
ebook
Tell
version,
the joke.
and there will also Haskell Jackson of Gentle Soul Productions. He don't know he's doing this yet.
Oh, good for us non-readers. For us non-readers,
I'm
right?
gonna do an audiobook.
Woohoo! That's what I'm
Yeah.
talking about.
Someone just mentioned
Play it
that
in the
to
car,
me
baby. Play it in the
about my
car.
script. They said
Do
do the audio
do the
version.
audio
They said
version.
people are into audio versions,
That's
and
the
I'm
next.
just now hearing that.
That's the next.
Are you kind of Drive Time University, baby? It's the best university to be in. Drive Time University.
Audio
You do it
books.
too? You do the audio books?
Yeah. When do I have time to read?
Audiobooks are the
I'm
next.
just saying.
Audiobooks are booming right now because for that
Yes.
very reason. Commute times are very long, and people are taking advantage and maximizing that time
Sure.
by throwing it. So I'm going to do, and then Melody Cochran, my ace boon, she's going to be doing an app so people can get it on their phone. And then lastly, at some point, I want to do a daily. Are you familiar with John Bradshaw of? I can't think of. Blah 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 blah. It is written. It is written.
That sounds familiar.
Seventh Day Adventist Church.
That sounds familiar.
But every day on Facebook, he does a 1
in the
minute
Bible.
and 1 second, including his opening and closing credits. It's a minute and 1 second, a little nugget, and I want to be able to do that at some point. So every day you get me on camera, which will be interesting.
Well, that's just like
For a
when
minute.
you just take your video. Yeah.
Like we did in the
Yeah,
bathroom.
yeah.
Y'all, listen, y'all.
Technology is a wonderful thing.
Are we out of time?
Ministry today.
Yeah, we are.
With the
We're gonna
video
end with Morning
in the
Manna.
restroom of LA Talk Live.
She got to make an hour and a half show.
videos.
Send the bill to Trisha Mann Grant. Richard, send the bill to
Send me the
Trisha Mann
bill.
Grant.
I'm going to lay
Van.
hands on it and send
Van.
it right back.
Our boss is also our engineer, and he's sitting back there rolling his
He's
eyes
like-
with a toothpick like gangster. Like,
Oh,
what's
but
up?
Eric,
What's
but
up?
a few minutes.
You know you love the Lord.
That's
I
right,
donated to
Vanera.
the Veterans Fund. Yeah, the veterans have a crowdfunding thing too.
That's
so
right. Vaneric had a show before us about the veterans. So you guys make sure you watch
and
that.
you're a vet too, by the way, aren't you?
I am a veteran in the United States Army. I was one of the very last women to be inducted into the Women's Army Corps and one of the very first women to be inducted into regular Army. We made that transition when I was in basic training. I'm a very proud veteran of the United States
Yay!
Army.
Come on now. A vet is late with the cue. Thank you, Bob.
That's
Well,
right.
we enjoyed our time here, guys.
for having me,
Tife Griffin,
guys.
Morning Manna, Morning
I love
Manna,
you guys.
thebook.com.
We love you too.
You know, please spread the word. Next week, Rebecca Cruz will be in the house
Rebecca
here.
Cruz.
Woo!
Terry Cruz is
Her
wife.
song is off the
Terry
chain,
Cruz is on red.
which was produced by Haskell Jackson of Genesoul Productions.
Oh, right,
wow.
right. We just got a whole family thing going up in here, huh?
That's right. That's
Ooh,
right.
yeah.
Well, you all, thank you so much. Hey, listen, gospelrhythms.com. You make sure you tell a friend, tell two friends, bring them on, and watch the show again, and tell
Absolutely.
people
One
to
more
buy.
shout out.
One more shout. Go
One
one
more
more shout
shout
out.
out. I have to shout out three people. Pastor Frank Wilson, Dreamer's Journey. I'm doing it. I love you.
Amen.
Kai, Alex Panetta, my pastors. You know what it is.
That's right. What's your church? What's the name of your church? Real quick.
I don't do church. That's another show. But
Okay.
here we go.
She can't tell me a joke. I can't even get the name of the
Kingdom
church.
House of Worship. Kingdom House of Worship.
She like,
I'm gonna get that joke.
Worldwide and we live on the Ustream. What you know about the Gospel Rhythms magazine? But God's in it, you don't gotta chase dreams. You need to check us out and see what we mean.
Catch the vision.
Okay.
It's party. Here on earth, make it play. Gospel rhythms. Catch the vision. It's party. Here on earth. Here on earth.
We got singers, rappers, spoken word, and actors, and business owners.